Wonderkids. That's something that we hear so much in football. I mean, Lamine Yamal, Kenan Yildiz, Arda Güler, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Kobbie Mainoo, if you want to say those five. And there's so many more in football. But there has been some transfers in football this summer that you probably don't know about. And here's 5 Wonderkids I think that you should keep an eye out on who have had a summer transfer to a new club. And I think it's the beginning of something exciting for them in their football careers. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you're new here. Starting with number 1 is Rooney Bargie, joining Barcelona from Copenhagen for a very small transfer fee. A transfer fee of reportedly only €2 million. So you already know that is a low risk transfer. He's got flair, he's a flashy winger, and also Barcelona can carve him into the kind of winger that they want because he's still very young. Now he's coming off the back of an ACL recovery. So last season he did not have that much football. But the season before that, he had 36 appearances and 10 goals, including that winner against Manchester United in the Champions League. I remember that way too well. He's versatile, he can invert, he can play as a winger, he can play wide, he can hold the touchline, he can invert like I said, and he has the dribbling and creative ability, something that Barcelona like very well in their wingers. Like I said, low cost, low risk, but potentially it has a high potential reward. He fits Barcelona's youth strategy, he offers some quality and depth, and for a team that dominate possession, I think his wing play would be easy to excel at. Only 19 years old as well, guys. In his career as well, he's won 3 league titles in the Danish league. Barcelona fans, let me know how you're feeling with that. When you pair him with Marcus Rashford as 2 transfers that have come in, that is some 2 great talents I think that Barcelona have brought in this summer transfer window. And he's probably the cheapest player on this list today. Now going on to number 2, it's only right I go from the most cheap to the most expensive. It's none other than Bournemouth's very own, or formerly Bournemouth's very own, Dean Huijsen. The 20-year-old joins Real Madrid for a €50 million release clause. Real Madrid were happy to trigger it before the season even ended, and they'll pay it across 3 installments. And I think this is one of the best businesses in the summer because it's a long-term investment that Real Madrid are getting for a position that they've needed to upgrade over the last couple of seasons. He was nominated for Young Player of the Year last season in the Premier League. He already looked impressive for Real Madrid at the Club World Cup. He's physical, he's got technical ability, he can drive the ball forward, he can play line breaking passes. Everything that you would want your centre half to do in modern football, he can do it plus more. And he has a high ceiling and potential. So like I said, Real Madrid, despite paying quite a hefty fee for a 20-year-old player, they're investing in their long term. With Alvaro at left wing back, that left-handed side of Real Madrid have great potential in the defensive attribute. He can step into the central roles, you know, drive into the middle of the pitch, and for a team that's probably going to be playing out at the back quite a lot under Xabi Alonso, I think he will be an important piece of the puzzle for Xabi Alonso's life at Real Madrid. In comparison to other centre-backs last season, he was in the top percentile for aerial duels, for defensive actions as well. So that also shows what he contributes on the defensive side of the game. Now, like I said, €50 million is quite pricey, but in this inflated market nowadays, 50 million sounds like the starting price for a lot of players. Real Madrid could choose to develop him and he could become a world-class centre-back, and they could choose to sell him and make a profit, or he can go on to become a legend at Real Madrid like other centre-backs in the past. Number 3, Habib Diarra, one player I'm so excited to see in the Premier League, making the move from Strasbourg to Sunderland. 21-year-old joins for a club record fee of 27 million. Sunderland, newly promoted, have been investing quite heavy in the European regions and bringing over talents that have played in Europe. He has an 83% pass completion last season and 4.5 progressive passes per game, which is very important. He can link the play well with his intelligent reading, his ability to pass, his ability to drive with the ball as well. And he's consistently played over 25-30 games for Strasbourg while he's been there. He has a high work rate and defensive balance, so it's the best of both worlds. With his ability to tackle and his ability to drive with the ball, box to box if you want to call it that, he will be so impressive for Sunderland. That is one player I'm telling you lot to keep an eye out in the Premier League. He's a long-term investment. He has the defensive ability, the passing, the acumen, creativity, and so much more. And with a 5-year deal, this is a long-term investment for Sunderland, and they could sell him for a profit if they chose to. He's probably one of my most impressive transfers this season in the Premier League so far, outside of the Big Six. And number 4, Charalampos Kostoulas, the 18-year-old switching Olympiacos for Brighton this season with another big hefty fee. Maybe not as big as Dean Huijsen's, but it's still quite hefty. 35 million euros for the 6'1" striker, who only had 7 goals in 22 appearances for Olympiacos. However, at youth level, he was very, very highly rated. And if you lot know anything about Brighton's recruitment, I have no doubt that he will probably be a good player. He's technical, he's versatile, he can play out wide, he can play in the middle, and that's something that they probably want with the departure of João Pedro. Now, like I said, for a young player with not that much experience, he's relatively expensive, but he has the potential to be developed into a great striker, and there's nowhere better, in my opinion, in the Premier League to do it than at Brighton. There's a high ceiling and sell-on ability as well. With only 1 year of senior football, some people might have some questions with the demanding adjustments to the Premier League in terms of physicality and adaptability, but he's another player under the age of 21, outside of the big marquee names like Yildiz, like Arda Güler, like Lamine Yamal, to watch this season. And last but definitely not least is another player that's leaving a European club to join the Premier League is Adam Aznou, who left Bayern Munich to join Everton. Now, the 19-year-old joined for a reportedly undisclosed fee, but some reports are suggesting that it's around 8 million euros. And he's only had 4 senior caps for Bayern Munich, but he spent last season, or the latter stages of last season, on loan. He's a La Masia graduate, having come through their ranks from the ages of 12 to 16 and then went on to join Bayern Munich. And some will dub him as a modern-day fullback. He can drive forward, he's strong, he's physical, but the inexperience might eat him up. And that is why a destination like David Moyes and Everton might be a good decision for him. He can play as a winger if necessary, but he's a modern-day attacking fullback, like I said. And he's defensively solid for a young player that hasn't played that many games in comparison to the other players that I've mentioned in this list. He's young, he's cheap, and he has loads of potential. It's just about whether Everton are able to develop him. And he adds depth to a position that Everton need a little bit of depth. Now, there might not be that much pressure at Everton in comparison to, say, Bayern Munich, so his trajectory can be a lot more natural and a lot more progressive. The physicality as well of the Premier League will definitely help him improve. Now, a lot of these players, you lot will see that I kept talking about potential. The potential is there with all these players, but I think the environment is the most important thing to develop them. And if the environment ain't right, they might not be able to develop. Now, of the 5 I mentioned, I think they're all at different stages in their career. I mean, Huijsen is a Spain international as well as, you know, a full-fledged senior player at top flight football. And the rest of them are still figuring out where they kind of stand in football right now. But they've all taken a leap of faith, joining big marquee clubs or making big moves to big leagues to see how their career can kind of turn out. And I'm really excited to watch these 5. Now, it's not just limited to these 5, but these 5 are probably my most standout ones to watch this season, some more than others. Like I said, I'm really excited to see Habib Diarra in the Premier League because I've watched him quite a bit at Strasbourg. Huijsen, we are all familiar with him. If you watch the Premier League, we've seen what he can do at Bournemouth, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on at Real Madrid as well. And Rooney Bargie, I have PTSD from what he did to Manchester United in the Champions League, so we are no strangers to what he's able to do, but I'm really excited to see how Hansi Flick can develop him and how he will play with the likes of Rafinha, Rashford, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Dani Olmo, etc. at Barcelona. So guys, let me know your thoughts down below. I know this is a different kind of video, but let me know your thoughts down below of what you think. Is there any young players under the age of 21 that you're really excited to watch this season outside of the traditional kind of wonder kids like Kobbie Mainoo, like Miles Lewis-Skelly, like Kenan Yildiz, like Arda Güler, like Lamine Yamal? Outside of those, is there any other young players that you're really excited to see them get flowers that they deserve and also see how their career takes off?